If your tennis has plateaued and you've been stuck at the same level for a while, it can be very frustrating, but it's also something that a lot of players struggle with. And realistically, players improve quite a lot when they start playing, but then they get to a certain point and very few players actually break through and make dramatic improvements after that. And there are basically only 3 things that can cause your tennis plateau. So what I want to do is break them down and help you understand what they are, so you can start to figure out what might be going on with you and finally start to break through that plateau to become a higher level tennis player. I hope you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, I really appreciate it if you could do that as well. The first thing that could be causing your plateau is lack of good quality technical or tactical information. Tennis is one of those sports where there are lots of moving parts, and good coaching can make a tremendous difference as to how much you improve or not. Now, the difficulty here is there is a lot of different levels to coaching. It's just like any other profession. You get some amazing coaches, you get a lot of average coaches, and you get a whole bunch of terrible coaches as well. So when you're trying to work with a coach or looking for a coach, you've just got to make sure they're of good quality, they know what they're talking about, and they're not going to make things worse, because bad coaches tend to focus on the wrong things and they can create a whole world of confusion and frustration. Now, if there isn't any good coaches within your area, luckily in this day and age, we've got access to amazing coaches from all over the world for free on YouTube. And some of the YouTube content is absolutely fantastic and top rate. Obviously, there's some that isn't quite as good, but normally it's pretty easy to see the channels that provide really high quality information. And all of those channels actually have paid programs as well. And you definitely want to explore some of those programs. I've bought programs from pretty much everyone, and there are some amazing programs out there that I've learned a ton from. So I definitely recommend exploring those options. But what I do want to say is, good coaching is only one piece of the puzzle. It's often the piece of the puzzle that people go to, but I have personally witnessed players working with very good coaches one-on-one in person 1, 2, 3 times a week for a year and not improve all that much. I've seen players buy great programs that they've bought from someone online. The program was good. I've seen the quality of the program myself, and that person didn't improve all that much because there are other pieces to the puzzle. So I want to talk about that now. The next thing that can really be causing your tennis plateau is lack of good quality practice, not just the amount you play, because there's a big difference between playing lots of tennis and practicing in a way that's going to allow you to improve. I chat to players on a daily basis that come to me because they're stuck at a certain point and they want to improve, and I always ask them about what they're doing, and a surprisingly large number of the time people aren't even doing structured practice. They basically go to the court, they hit a few balls down the middle, maybe they hit some cross court, they go in, hit a few volleys, hit a few serves, and then most people just start playing points and start playing matches. And match play is very important, but depending on what you're working on, that's not going to allow you to improve, because there's different stages of learning. If you're really trying to improve a specific technique because you've identified that that's what you need to work on, then it takes a lot of focus, a lot of energy, and a lot of concentration. So maybe I'm working on changing the way that I do my unit turn to kind of modernize to a more ATP style stroke. I'm not saying that's what you need to do. I'm using it as a hypothetical example. Well, for a period of time, you're going to have to think about that a lot. So every time the ball comes towards you, you're going to have to think about the specific shape that you're making, the specific body movements, and it takes a lot of concentration. If you're playing a point or if you're playing a match, there's no way you're going to be able to concentrate on that. You're going to slip back into the previous habits that you had before. So actually deliberately practicing and trying to improve your technique and structuring your practice in a way that's going to facilitate improvements is a really essential piece of the puzzle that most people miss. Now, one of the challenges with getting good quality practice is getting enough repetitions at the level that you're at. So again, if we go back to that example, when you first start doing it, it's going to take a tremendous amount of focus. If you're just rallying with a partner, that might still be creating too much variety and too much challenge for you to learn the particular skill that you're working on. And this is one of the major benefits of coaching. The coach can feed the ball in a specific place and allow you to get enough repetitions to kind of groove improve and habitualize certain aspects, and they can make the feeds progressively more challenging over time. Now, this is something you can definitely recreate on your own. Ball machines are fantastic for it. You can get a basket of balls with one of your friends or practice partners, or you can kind of set up drills. So maybe I need to work on my high forehands. You have to actually practice your high forehands. You can't expect to practice rallying from the back of the court, get a short ball and crush it for a winner. You've got to practice the thing that you're working on. You just get with a partner, you feed them a high short forehand, they come in, they attack it, you play out the point, you take it in turns. At least you're going to be getting repetitions. So you just got to find ways to structure your practice in a way that's going to allow you to improve, because if you've been stuck where you are for a period of time, one of the big things that might be causing that is just lack of good quality practice. Now, obviously, if we combine good information, good coaching, good technical information with well-structured practice, now, you know, we're going to give ourselves a much better chance of success, but there is still definitely a third piece of the puzzle that can hold you back. The third thing that can really be holding you back and causing you to plateau is maybe one of the biggest of all. And this is something that held me back for a long time, and it's lack of ability. The lack of a physical capability of doing the thing that you're trying to do. And this affects everyone on some level, but it normally maxes people out sooner than you would think. So I grew up playing tennis. I was a low-level county player in England. I basically never had good enough timing to develop an attacking game style. I was a grinder, I ran, I worked hard on my fitness, but as soon as I tried to attack, I just didn't have the skill. I didn't have the visual processing and the coordination to use high-level timing, and because of that, anytime I tried to attack, I would make too many mistakes, so I resorted to getting the ball back in play and doing the best I could with my ability. As I got older, I went into coaching. My technical knowledge improved dramatically, and my tennis level improved absolutely marginally. So I'm in the best possible environment you can imagine. I've got amazing coaches all around me. I've got built-in practice partners. My practice is good, my technical knowledge is good, and I didn't improve all that much because unfortunately, I just wasn't good enough to play at a higher level, because in order to have good timing, which is what's required to hit with power and control, you need to be able to accurately predict when and where the ball is going to arrive. You need to be able to start your swing at the right time, and you need to be able to adjust the speed of your swing based on the ball that you're dealing with. And that's something that I didn't have the skill and ability to do. And this is something that affects a lot of other players as well. The good news is this is stuff that you can change with training. When I got to 35, I started to learn about brain-based training, basically to rehab from a concussion I got in a mountain bike crash. And as I rehabbed the concussion, because I was training my brain, I suddenly got a whole lot better at tennis. And I used to really struggle with attacking forehands and high forehands. And now I'm the oldest I've ever been, and I can crush high forehands with my left hand, and that's something that I didn't used to be able to do with my right hand. That's how much difference improving your visual processing, your coordination, and the other underlying skills. Sometimes it's strength, sometimes it's flexibility, sometimes it's fitness. There's multiple different, physical attributes that you need on court, but if that is the thing that's holding you back, that's the thing that you need to address. The good news is there is always something we can do to improve things, and it's one of the big things that I help tennis players with. I do teach about the tactics, I do teach about the technique, but what I mainly do is teach tennis players brain-based training to show them how to train and improve their ability to read the ball quickly, to react faster, improve their coordination so they can use better technique and that side of things. If you'd like to learn more about it, I've created a free masterclass that's going to go into a lot more detail. I'll place a link up there, and I'll place the link down in the description so that you can check it out. So it's going to explain about brain-based training. It'll tell you a little bit about my program at the end of the masterclass. So if that's something you want to learn more about, that's the way to go about it. It'll tell you the next steps that are involved. If you just want to watch a YouTube video right now, I think I'm going to recommend this one here, because it's going to show you some cool assessments that you can do for your coordination, because coordination is one of the big things that prevents players from having good timing. This is one of the big things that I had to address, so I think you'll really like it. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give me that thumbs up.